Welcome to Meeple Mentor. I'm Jared, and we're about to play Darkest Night 2nd Edition. Let's take a look. I'll show you how. Feel free to pause the video as needed to follow along with your copy of the game. For your convenience, I've added chapter timestamps in the description to the different sections of the tutorial. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell below the video so you don't miss any of my latest content. In the darkest night, the kingdom has fallen under a shadow cast by a terrible necromancer. The undead roam the land under control of this necromancer, while the king's army is broken, the castle has fallen, and the lands overrun. The only refuge is found in the sacred grounds of the monastery. A few brave souls band together to fight back the impending doom of undead facing their home. In this cooperative board game, players become one of 29 heroes fighting a guerrilla war to rid the kingdom of the necromancer and his evil influence. Work as a team to either win or fail together. 4 hero characters participate in the fight together, no matter how many players. Using dice, fight off blight tokens from the board, collect relics, items, artifacts, clues, and new powers, and complete quests to ultimately defeat the necromancer in battle. How do you accomplish this? Let's take a look first at setting it up. First, lay out the game board in the middle of the table. Collect the 4 relic tokens and place them with their undiscovered side face up in the 4 locations on the map: mountains, forest, ruins, and swamp. Place the clue tracker and darkness tracker at 0 on the darkness track along the bottom of the board. Create shuffled decks along the bottom of the board for the event cards, artifact cards, quest cards, mystery cards, and darkness cards. Each of these decks should be separate. Hold off on the map cards for now. Create supply pools on the table for the various tokens you'll need in the game. You'll have blight tokens, sparks, and item counters. Next, everyone gets to choose the heroes to use in the game from the 29 available. Remember that 4 heroes are used, no matter the player count, so some people may control more than 1 hero. Playing the game solo, you'll control all 4 heroes yourself. There are alternate rules at the end of the rulebook which explains using a 5th hero or more, but 4 heroes are recommended. For each hero chosen, collect their character standee and place it in the monastery location on the game board. Take their hero sheet and a turn tracker, placing the token sun side up. Next, place a grace tracker and secrecy tracker on the hero sheet at their default values. Look for the decorative brackets pointing to the default numbers. Take the hero's 13 power cards with their picture on the front. Take out the 5 starting power cards as shown by the flowery looking symbol in the top corners. Choose 3 of them to start the game with and put them face up under the hero mat. Put the remaining 2 back into the power deck and shuffle them together. Keep the deck face down to the right of the hero sheet. Each hero sheet has a player aid on the back, so there are plenty of extra player aids available from the unused heroes. Keep one nearby for each player to reference during the game. Now it's time to make the map deck, which will be different each game depending on which subdeck variety you choose. Check the rulebook for a full listing of the subdecks you can make. They are color-coded and map cards will show at the bottom which colors they are included in. The blue color is what they call Classic, which uses the blights and search results from the 1st edition of Darkest Night. Green is used for the simpler game and recommended for your first game. Yellow is called Hunted and includes more traps and detection chances. The orange is the Overrun subdeck, which emphasizes hordes of undead and mainly monster blights. The red is Entropy, which includes each kind of global effect blight token. The purple is for spiritual warfare and removes the monster blights completely. Whichever subdeck type you choose, collect all the map cards that show that color on the cards and shuffle them together. The rest of the map cards won't be used. Place this created map deck face down under the board near the rest of the decks. By the way, you can always choose to use all the map cards to include everything at once for maximum variety. Now draw the top map card and look at the blights shown next to the named locations. Collect these blight tokens and place them in the 6 areas on the board. Do not place anything in the monastery. Leave this card next to the map deck face up to start a discard pile. Place the Necromancer miniature in the ruins area of the map. Now you're set up and ready to play. The game of Darkest Night proceeds round after round until the players meet the win condition or lose condition. A single round is made up of all the players' individual turns, followed by the Necromancer's turn. The players get the first turns of the game, followed by the Necromancer. The hero character's turns can be taken in any order chosen by the players, and it can be a different order each round. To keep track of which hero has taken a turn, flip their turn tracker from the sun to the moon side. The heroes also have tracks measuring their secrecy and grace. A grace point can be spent to save a hero from a death outcome. Being at 0 doesn't kill you automatically, it just means the next time you would take a mortal wound, you would die. The secrecy track represents how well their movements are hidden from the Necromancer, and affects your odds of being detected. These tokens can be moved down to 0, but never below. The maximum gain allowed will be stated by the effect. Also, some abilities or actions may require you to spend Grace or Secrecy. You must have it to spend it and do the action. During the hero's turns, they'll be able to move around the map, attack blights, search for items, use cards and powers, and do combat with enemies or the Necromancer. The Necromancer raises the darkness each turn, which slowly adds more difficulty and negative effects to the board. He'll be moving towards heroes and creating blights everywhere he goes, which may be monsters, area effects, or whole board effects. In order to win, one of the heroes must hold a Holy Relic token and win combat against the Necromancer. Additionally, there can be no blight tokens in that area, since the Necromancer has the ability to sacrifice a blight in his space to save himself from a combat loss. The other way for the heroes to win is to collect 3 Holy Relics and gather them to the monastery space of the board. Once this happens, they perform a cleansing ritual that will rid the land of the undead and the Necromancer's power. The heroes will lose if the monastery space is overrun by blights. Normally, the monastery is a sanctuary that repels evil, but when a space gains a 5th blight token, it gets added to the monastery instead. Also, once the darkness track reaches the end, every increase past 30 will add a blight to the monastery. If the monastery ever has 4 blights in it, its defenses shatter and the kingdom's last light is snuffed out, plunging the land into darkness. A hero's turn always happens in the same way, one after another, until each hero has taken a turn. First, resolve any start of turn effects. This is usually losing 1 secrecy point for holding a Holy Relic, or losing 1 secrecy when the Necromancer is in your location. Then draw an event card from the top of the event deck and resolve it. If you're in the monastery though, don't draw an event card. The events represent chance encounters while roaming the realm. They are usually dangerous and harmful to the heroes, but there are occasionally good outcomes. Each event card shows a fate value in the top corner, which gives you an idea how bad it is. The higher the number, the worse it is. After resolving the card, discard it. Once you come upon a special card in the event deck called Renewal, immediately reshuffle all event cards to form a new event deck. Then draw a new event card to resolve. Should you have no secrecy points and be in the same space as the Necromancer, skip drawing an event card at this point. Instead, he initiates combat with you. I'll cover combat details later. After resolving an event card or completing combat with the Necromancer, the hero may take 1 action. Whoever is controlling the hero can choose 1 action from those available, such as moving to an adjacent area, doing a search, or attacking. There's many more actions possible that I'll get into later. Some actions require die rolls to test against a difficulty number. By meeting or exceeding the difficulty, the hero succeeds at the action. Sometimes heroes collect spark tokens, which can be spent before a die roll to gain 1 extra die for the attempt. Gain 1 die per spent spark. Each hero can hold up to 3 sparks at a time. By having more dice in your action's attempt, you have more chances of success. The rolled dice are never added together. As long as one of the dice is equal to or higher than the target, you succeed. Also, there's no limit to how many dice can be gained for an action through various effects, powers, or abilities. Regardless of any penalties, a hero may always roll 1 die. After taking one action, their turn ends, so you must resolve any end-of-turn effects. These could be defending against spawned blights in your area, or gaining a secrecy point for spending your whole turn in the monastery. Then remember to flip your turn token to the moon side to indicate they've gone. After all the heroes have had a turn, the Necromancer gets his turn as controlled by the game. First, advance the darkness token 1 space forward on the darkness track. By reaching certain thresholds as written on the game board, he gains specific advantages. If reaching 10, draw a darkness card off the top of the deck and place it face up. It will remain in play the rest of the game, and adds additional rules or penalties as written on it. When reaching 20, add another darkness card. These are all cumulative. The new one doesn't replace the first. Both are in effect. At 25, all the blights on the board have +1 might, making them harder to destroy. And any increases past 30 doesn't move the token anymore. Instead, they create a blight in the monastery. After advancing the darkness track, place quest timer markers on each quest in play. These may cause some to expire and be lost. Now you'll have to move the Necromancer. Choose someone to roll a die. The value rolled is compared to each hero's secrecy level. Any hero with secrecy lower than the roll is detected, unless they're in the monastery. Among the detected heroes, the Necromancer moves to the closest one via the shortest route, including staying in his space if he detects a hero there. The Necromancer can never enter the monastery for any reason, so must always move around it to go across the map. There's no immediate effect when the Necromancer moves to a hero. During the start of the hero's next turn, they'll lose 1 secrecy and possibly fight him if down to 0. If the Necromancer doesn't detect any hero with his movement roll, he will instead follow the arrows found in his area, matching his roll. The circular arrows result means he stays put. After moving the Necromancer, place a new blight in his location. The blights represent the unholy magic spells he has placed on the realm. These are in effect as long as they're in play. Anytime you should add a blight, draw a map card off the top of the map deck. Look for the location in question listed on the card. Take a blight token of the type shown on the card next to the location's name. Place it in the area, and discard the map card. If there are no more blight tokens in the supply matching the type needed to place, discard the card and draw another. Should you draw 3 map cards in a row due to this, players may choose which blight to place there. Anytime a blight would be placed in an area that has 4 blights already, place the new blight in the monastery. Remember that if the monastery contains 4 blights, the players lose immediately. The power cards face up in front of the heroes give each hero unique abilities. Each starts with 3 and may be able to gain more powers during the game, primarily through searching. There's no limit to how many a hero can have in front of them. The powers are permanent and can be used as often as they like, as restricted by what each card says. A power card's effect will fall into one of 5 categories. The power may provide a special action that can be used during the hero's action step of their turn instead of taking one of the standard actions. It may be a tactics card which provides some benefit while in combat. Some powers provide bonuses as printed on them. Just follow what they say and use them as often as they're relevant. The last 2 power categories has to do with activating the card itself. An active power card effect is only used once the power has been activated. An inactive effect can only be used while the power is not activated. When activating a card, place it on top of your hero sheet as a reminder that it's active, or you may choose to use one of the active-inactive tokens on the card to track its status. The active effect written will be in effect until the card is deactivated. Some powers specifically target a location, hero, or enemy. It's recommended to place that card on or near the target as a reminder. Even while the card is separated from the owner, the card's actions, tactics, and bonus effects are still available to the hero who owns the card. During the game, when there are two effects that seem to happen simultaneously, the affected player can choose the order to resolve them. Some effects say any time. These can be used literally any time, even on someone else's turn or between simultaneous effects. Some power cards require you to exhaust them to use them. This means you must flip them face down. The exhausted cards stay face down until the hero can refresh them by taking the hide or prey actions or by some other special effect. Only exhaust a card if instructed to. Most cards don't require you to flip them over to use. However, some outside force or effects can cause a hero's power card to exhaust and flip over, even if it normally doesn't. Any card that had an active or inactive effect at the time it's exhausted is suppressed. The effects stop until it is refreshed. Now let's take a look at the various standard actions heroes can take on their turn. One per turn, of course. Also, you're not required to take an action, but it's usually a good idea. You may spend an action to travel. Just move your hero to an adjacent area on the map, then gain 1 secrecy point on the hero sheet up to a max of 5. You may choose to hide as an action, refresh your powers by flipping them face up again, and then gain 1 secrecy point. You can meditate to gain 1 spark. Each hero can hold up to 3 at a time. These can be discarded before a dice roll to add another dice to your roll attempt. You can use a card's printed action as shown on the card. It could be from a power card you have, quest card in your location, or on some darkness cards. While in a location with an undiscovered holy relic, the hero may spend 10 clues to discover it. Clues are typically gained from mystery cards and are tracked along the darkness track. To spend them, just move them backwards on the track. When you discover the holy relic, flip it over to its discovered side and treat it as an item. The hero can retrieve it and put it in front of them. Each hero can only hold 1 relic at a time. While in the monastery, a hero may pray as their action. Roll 2 dice against a target number of 3. For each success, the hero gains a grace point. Then you may refresh all of your powers. You may attack a blight or the necromancer in your location and fight it. By winning, return the blight to the supply. Regardless of the outcome, lose 1 secrecy point for revealing yourself. I'll cover all the combat steps in the next section. The last standard action is to search your location. Each location has a difficulty level shown by the number next to the name. You'll also see some search icons underneath for each location. These are printed to show you the most commonly found search result for each location. Roll a die to attempt the search. By meeting or exceeding the difficulty value, you succeed the search. Draw a map card from the map deck and take the shown search result, matching your location. If you're able to roll multiple dice for this search, you may draw 1 map card for each successful die roll. From the drawn map cards, choose the one you want to resolve and ignore the others. Take the item token shown and keep it near you. Sometimes you'll draw a map card to get a search result, but there are no more of that item token in the supply. If that happens, discard the card and draw a new one. If this happens 3 times in a row, you can either draw 1 power card from your deck or take any available item token with a green back. Other than gaining items, there are a few other search results you may find. When you see the open book icon, you should draw a mystery card. The clue icon with ×3 shown is known as a revelation. Immediately gain 3 clues on the darkness track. These other search effects happen as soon as you reveal them on the map card, so they don't have tokens for them. This green symbol is an epiphany. You may search your power deck and take whatever power card you want and put it into play. Then shuffle your power deck. The blue symbol is Stardust. Immediately reduce the darkness by 1. The purple symbol is Inspiration. When this is discovered, each hero immediately draws a power card. This icon is a Forgotten Shrine. Gain 2 grace on your hero sheet. This one is a supply cache, which lets you draw 2 power cards from the top of your deck. Choose 1 to keep and place the rest on the bottom of the deck. Each hero can hold an unlimited number of items, except the Holy Relic. Only 1 relic per hero. Heroes may give each other items if they are in the same location. Any hero at the monastery may store an item there or retrieve an item stored there. These are free actions and can be done at any time, even during another player's turn or their combat. Everyone in the same location has access to all the items possessed by the players there. Items can be used by any of those players, but only once. When an item is used, it basically becomes locked and cannot be given away or stored until the next turn of the hero holding it. When a hero carrying items dies, the items must go to another hero in the same location immediately. If no other hero is there, leave the items in the location, and the next hero to go there gains them all. Artifacts are items representing ancient magic items of legendary power. The artifacts are cards and are found in the artifact deck, but still count as items and powers. Since it counts as a power card too, any effect that affects powers also affects artifacts. For example, if something forces you to exhaust a power, you may choose to exhaust an artifact. Heroes may trade artifacts to each other just like items. The holy relics are special items and carry some additional rules. To gain a holy relic, the hero must be in its location and spend 10 clues from the clue track. A hero may not gain another relic if they are already carrying one. They must first trade it or store it at the monastery, then go back and get it. While holding a holy relic at the start of your turn, or receiving a holy relic from another hero, lose 1 secrecy. When discovering a relic and taking it from the board, you do not immediately lose secrecy, only at the start of your turn or if another player gives it to you. The main effect of holding a relic is to get +1 to your highest die roll in a fight. Instead of gaining more dice, the relic adds 1 to the value of the highest rolled die. This is the only way most heroes can ever roll a 7, which will be necessary to kill the necromancer. The basic items that can be found will be tokens, usable once each. The green-backed item tokens are basic items with a one-time instantaneous effect. The basic items with a gold back give the heroes new or improved powers, permanently increasing their capabilities. While these are still used once, their effects are permanent. There's a handy player aid that describes each of them in detail. Bottled magic can be discarded after a fight roll to add 3 dice to that roll. Charms can be discarded after any die roll to re-roll all the dice used. Cursed Ashes can be discarded on your turn to ignore the effects of blights upon your hero for the rest of the turn. The Skull token can be discarded after the Necromancer's movement roll to move him to any location instead of where he would normally end up. Remember that the Necromancer may never enter the monastery. The Soothing Lyre can be discarded any time to refresh all powers of every hero. Vanishing Dust can be discarded after a failed elude roll to make it an automatic success. The Waystones can be discarded during your turn to instantly move to any location and gain 1 secrecy point. The Prism Stone is an item that can be placed on one of your powers on your turn. Then all heroes may use this power as if it were their own. Once placed, it can never move. The Tome of Retraining can be discarded any time to put one of your face-up power cards at the bottom of your deck to draw 2 power cards off the top. Both will come into play immediately. Blights are tokens added to locations on the map that represent the Necromancer's unholy magic spells. Each one has a harmful effect for as long as it's in play. Blights are typically added by the Necromancer after his movement on his turn, but can also be added in other ways. Anytime you should add a blight to a location with 4 blights, put it on the monastery instead. Once the darkness marker reaches 30 on the track, any further increase will cause a blight to be added directly to the monastery. Each blight possible in the game is listed on the included player aid page. It provides the image, number of tokens possible, a full effect description, and its combat stats. Blights with a yellow border bring monsters to the area they're sitting in. Any hero who ends their turn where a yellow blight is must defend themselves in combat from the monsters. This defense is not an attack and will not remove the blight even if you succeed without penalty. The blights with a blue border add certain effects to its location, usually weakening or restricting the heroes in some way. These types of blights don't trigger combats, but heroes can always attack them as an action to destroy them. Probably the worst blights are the ones with the red borders, since they affect the whole board. These bring global effects that apply to each location on the map. To remove them, heroes must still be able to attack it within the area the blight token is. To destroy a blight, a hero in the same space as it may attack it as an action. By making a successful fight roll against the blight's might, the blight is destroyed and removed from the board. Return it to the supply pool. Any kind of blight may be attacked and removed by heroes this way. Attacks against a blight token are always considered a fight. The target number to meet with your dice is the blight's might found in the corner of the blight token. If none of your rolled dice meets or exceeds this value, you fail the fight and suffer the blight's defense shown on the token. Resolve what's shown next to the large might number for its defense result. Additionally, whenever attempting an attack action against a blight, the hero loses 1 secrecy since the attack draws attention. A combat can be triggered in several ways. The yellow blight monsters initiated combat with you at the end of your turn, for example. Some events or other blights may be able to initiate combat along with the necromancer himself. During the event step of a hero's turn, if the necromancer is in their location and that hero has no secrecy, the necromancer starts combat with them. Lastly, heroes can use an action on their turn to attack blights or the necromancer. During combat, the hero can choose to fight or elude the enemy. When a hero chooses to attack, they must fight it and cannot elude it. Choosing to fight is to attempt to subdue the enemy, while eluding them is trying to disengage and escape. The hero may use 1 tactic ability from a power card. If they don't have tactics or choose not to use any, they'll fight or elude with 1 die. When using a tactic, roll dice as instructed by the power card. More dice can be added to this through other sources as well. The minimum dice to be used is always 1 die, no matter the penalties. As I said before, when the hero initiates a fight with a blight, the target number is the large value in the corner known as its might. Winning against a blight when the hero initiated the attack will remove the blight from the board. Otherwise, when monsters or the necromancer initiate combat with the hero, look at the strength and awareness values. When fighting to subdue it, the target value is the strength value. When attempting to elude it, the target value is the awareness value. When a dash is seen in place of a value, that means this type of combat is not possible. Compare your dice results separately to the target number. Do not add the dice values together. Each die that has rolled equal to or higher than the target value is considered 1 success. As long as 1 success is rolled, the hero wins the combat. Otherwise, they fail. When failing combat this way, resolve the penalty shown between the strength and awareness on the blight token. A successful evade often has no effect and no penalty to suffer. The necromancer has a strength value of 7 and awareness of 6. So in order to win a fight against the necromancer, you must have a way to increase a natural 6 to 7. The holy relic, for example, adds 1 to your highest rolled die. Also, you cannot win the game unless you defeat the necromancer while holding a holy relic. Any failed combat against the necromancer results in a mortal wound. All of the necromancer's stats and turn reminder is found on the large player aid provided in the game box. Successfully eluding the necromancer has no further effect or penalty. Winning a fight against the necromancer may end the game if there are no blights in this location. Otherwise, one of the blights in this area is destroyed. Player's choice. Players may always choose to not roll dice and simply take the losing result automatically. Failing a combat often results in a penalty. Some penalties of failing may be to lose grace or secrecy points. Move your corresponding token down the track. 0 is always the lowest these can go. When a penalty says a hero loses a turn, tip the character's standee on its side. The next time they would take a turn, stand them up and flip their turn tracker to the moon side. They will skip all parts of their turn, including the bad effects that would normally happen. If the hero was in the middle of a turn when suffering the lose a turn penalty, they should always complete their current turn fully. They will lose their next turn. When a hero is already on its side when told to lose a turn, nothing else happens. Only 1 turn total is lost. Sometimes a hero may be forced to exhaust a power as a penalty of some failure. The hero must choose one of their unexhausted powers or artifacts and flip it over. Suffering a wound is a common penalty or losing result. The wound icon is the skull and crossbones and kills the hero. However, if the hero has a grace point, they can spend 1 grace to negate the wound. If at 0, when taking a wound, the hero must die, unless some other effect can prevent it. Remember, just sitting at 0 grace won't kill you alone. Dying doesn't end the game for you, as this is not a player elimination type of game. Instead, the hero's turn ends immediately and is removed from the game. Remove that hero's standee, powers, and hero sheet from the game. Give their items to players in the same location, or leave it there for the next hero to pick up. Then, as a penalty for a hero dying, raise the darkness by 1. After the Necromancer's next turn, the player who lost a hero may select a new hero from the pool of heroes. It should be one that has not already been used this game. Set up this hero like you normally would, gathering their hero sheet, power cards, and placing their standee in the monastery. Since this is a new hero mid-game, they are penalized by starting with 1 fewer starting power card and 1 less grace and secrecy than they would normally. After setting up the new hero and spawning them at the monastery, their turn ends. Going forward, they will be able to take full hero turns again, so it will be 2 full rounds from the original hero's death before the new hero gets a turn. Let's take a look at some of the other card decks you'll encounter throughout the game, like the events, quests, and mysteries. The events are these large red cards with a fate value shown on the front, indicating how bad an effect the card is. The higher the value, the worse it is. Each hero will typically draw an event card during their turn after any start of turn effects. The event is read and resolved immediately. Each has a name at the top, a picture in the middle, and some flavor text at the bottom. The main part to resolve is the middle section. Sometimes these say to compare your secrecy or grace value, or the current darkness level, to the card's stated ranges. Look at the section corresponding to your current stat to resolve it. Sometimes this initiates combat directly with the event card, and doesn't require a blight token being added to the board. Resolve the combat like normal, including rolling dice and using a tactic from a power card to help you. Winning the combat from an event simply discards the event with no further penalty. Losing will force some penalty on you, as stated in the card's text. Whenever you pull the renewal event card, you should immediately reshuffle all event cards and make a new deck. Then draw another event card to resolve. The renewal card cannot be ignored or discarded by any means. Some event cards will tell you to start a quest. The quests represent specific problems besetting the heroes or the kingdom. Completing quests often yields rewards, while letting quests expire will inflict penalties. When told to start a quest, draw the top quest card from the quest deck. Place it on the map based on a die roll. Whoever drew it rolls 1 die and compares the value to the Necromancer's movement arrows found in the village in the center of the board. Treat it the same as you would with moving the Necromancer. So if the value is a 6, the quest card goes directly to the village. The player may use powers, sparks, or other effects to gain more dice or re-roll the results. They may choose any of the results as to where to place the quest. Make sure to draw the card and read it before choosing. This special die placement roll is considered part of the event card. To complete a quest, you must follow the instructions printed on the card. Heroes may make incremental progress towards completing it. Many quests provide an action for the hero to take while in the quest location to advance it. Others may not require a special action, but spending something. Quest progression can only happen during a hero's action step. Some quests require combat, but there's no default failure result to this combat. It's only as stated on the card. For each advancement earned on the quest, place a quest star token on the card. Sometimes multiple stars can be gained in a single action. Once the number of star tokens equals or exceed the number shown on the quest, it is completed. Discard it and the tokens. The player who added the final star claims the rewards listed. If there aren't enough components in the supply for the rewards, the player chooses any green-backed item instead. During the Necromancer's turn, after raising the darkness level, he adds 1 timer quest token to each quest card in play. If the number of these timer tokens ever equals or exceeds the number next to the timer symbol on the card, the quest is lost. Discard it and apply the penalty shown at the bottom to the heroes as written. All star tokens on it when the quest expired are removed. The mystery cards represent potential sources of information about the lost holy relics. These mysteries are the most common way of earning clues, which will help the heroes discover the holy relic. Mysteries may be drawn as a result of an event or through searching and finding the book icon on the map card. Whenever told to gain clues with the magnifying glass icon, move up the clue marker on the darkness track. When drawing the mystery card, immediately gain the number of clues shown at the top of the card. These will indicate a location on the map for the mystery card to be placed, or it will say random. If random, roll a die and determine its location just like a quest, based on the arrow values in the village. Heroes in the location of the mystery card can attempt to complete one of the objectives shown to gain more clues. Sometimes the card provides a special action to take. Others may have a key icon shown with a condition and reward. Each of these keys can only be gained once, so once obtained, place a key token over the icon to show it's been done. Once all the conditions have been met and the card is full of key tokens, remove the card and the tokens from the game. The mystery card can be discarded. Other mystery cards may be labeled as permanent and will stay in play for the remainder of the game. Read its effects and apply it for the heroes as necessary. These permanent effects can be used as often as is allowed on the card. The game will proceed round after round until one of the two winning conditions is met by the players, or the one losing condition. Once a hero with a holy relic defeats the necromancer in combat in an area without blight tokens, the players win. The second way of winning involves gathering 3 of the holy relics and storing them in the monastery area. Once at least 3 are in the monastery, the players win. Doing it this way is to thematically perform a cleansing ritual that will rid the land of the undead and the necromancer's power and influence. Should the monastery be overrun by blight, meaning 4 or more simultaneous blight tokens, the heroes lose. This can happen quickly if the darkness track has reached the end, since every advancement from there automatically adds a blight to the monastery. By being overrun at the monastery, its defenses shatter and the kingdom's last light is snuffed out, plunging the land into darkness. The back few pages of the rulebook offer some optional rules to increase or decrease the difficulty, as well as ways to play with 3 or 5 heroes instead of 4. Each optional modifier is rated with a DM value. The harder modifications increase, such as +1 or +3, while the easier modifications will decrease with a value of -1, -2, and to mix things up, you may want to add some easy and some hard modifications to balance it out and have a different experience each time. There's even a variant where one player will just be the necromancer instead of a pure cooperative game. You could play without the mystery cards, without the quests, or even without the darkness deck for less randomness. So take a look if you're looking for some more variety. Keep the rulebook handy and check BoardGameGeek.com for FAQs and extra content. Check the video description for links to Cloud Puncher games for board game shelving and Mr. Meeple t-shirts for cool board gaming shirts. The Meeple Mentor channel is now part of the board game community, the Gateway Network, made up of great upcoming board game content creators. Originally founded by the Gamecasters podcast, the network includes Instagrammers, podcasters, YouTubers, artists, and more. Click the link in the video's description or head over to the Gateway Network's Instagram to find great new content. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Like and subscribe if you found this teaching helpful. Stick around to watch another Learn to Play video. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.